Most of us think of silk as a soft, luxurious material we like to have close to our skin. Rarely do we contemplate its origins as the product of a caterpillar's salivary glands. The art of using the cocoon of these moths as the fiber for a fine material dates back over 4,000 years. Its potential was supposedly discovered by Empress His Ying-shi when a cocoon fell into her teacup and unraveled into a long, fine fiber. The royalty of China was so enamored of this beautiful discovery that they valued it more than gold. The secret of its production was tightly guarded by China for over 2 centuries. Eventually, the secret was stolen by a love-struck princess. In the Vietnamese town of Vong Nguyen, silk making has been the main industry for 1,200 years. Throughout the village, households raise silkworms in their living rooms. These baskets each hold hundreds of silkworm caterpillars. This is the larval stage of a moth species called Bombyx mori. The caterpillars must be fed every 2 hours during the day and every 3 hours throughout the night. They feed exclusively on mulberry leaves. Their almost 4-week lifespan is completely devoted to eating. When they are ready to pupate, they are placed on branches where they begin the process of spinning their cocoon. They create this fortress to protect themselves during the vulnerable pupation stage when they transform into an adult moth. First, the caterpillar stakes out its position by weaving a loose structure. Working from the outside back in, the caterpillar closes itself off to the world. The actual strands of silk are secreted from the caterpillar's salivary glands. The caterpillar spins its head around, excreting a constant unbroken strand of silk around 1,500 feet long. To complete the cocoon, the caterpillar will work constantly for up to 3 days. Each cocoon holds a pupating caterpillar that will never be allowed to complete its life cycle. The cocoons must be brought to the spinning house before pupation is complete. Throughout Vong Nguyen, spinning huts turn the cocoons into silk thread. The first step is boiling the cocoons to loosen the silk. The end of each cocoon must be found by hand and spun together. It can take 5 or more cocoons woven together to make a single thread. Vu Thi has been making silk for many years. The pupa she is sorting from the leftover silk will be sold in Hanoi markets as food.
Making silk is good work because it is the work of the ancestors. The silk being spun here is done in the old way, as it has been for many years. This machine over here makes it in the new way.
The old spinning machines have remained relatively unchanged for over 1,000 years. The modern machine next to them has been designed for a finer, higher quality silk thread. It is much faster, but still must be carefully untangled by hand. Once the silk thread is made, it will leave Vong Nguyen and be shipped to the weaving town of Van Phuc. Here, the silk is prepared for the looms. Small buildings are packed with weaving machines from the 1940s. Punched plates hold the code for the various patterns that are woven into the silk. The process of weaving silk is very slow, and the looms must be constantly watched and adjusted. It takes about 2.5 hours to make 1 yard of silk material. After much labor on the part of man and moth, the silk cloth is finally completed. Silk remains in high demand throughout the world, and this strange partnership between man and moth continues to flourish.